yesterday on Finals Footy on Fox, Brandy said that the Sharks, Greg Alexander, might have to drop Nicho Hynes for next week. He's not alone, Brandy. Some may disagree, but he's not alone with this. Nicho has been out of form. He didn't play great on the weekend against Melbourne. You thought he was going to. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I did. Look, Nicho's lacking confidence, and I thought his third game back from injury, he would open up a little bit, but he made a couple of bad errors, including that one where he didn't find touch with the kick. He got caught on a sixth tackle. The Sharks have got a problem, and I can understand there is a debate there about his position.
Well, you know it well. You're a fan and you know the club and you've spoken to the club. Is there a chance he may be dropped or not?
There's absolutely no chance they will drop him. Okay. And that's not to say...
Could they put him on the bench or fullback, or is it just...
No, they won't. They're going to stick with him. Okay. They're going to stick with him. Having said that, I so respect Brandy's opinion. He's been there, done that, and he's entitled to say what he did say. Craig Fitzgibbon is a very, very loyal man. And while Nicho hasn't played anywhere near to justify his $1 million a year pay packet, they are going to stick solid. Now,
well, you can be loyal, then you can
I
be
looked
stupid.
at statistics before the...
what was that, Gordy?
I said you can be loyal and you can be stupid. I reckon they were a better side when Atkinson was there.
Well,
like they were winning.
Well, it's a small sample size.
Why do we dance around it? But like, why do we dance around it for?
You cannot drop Nicho now. It's too late in the season to do it, and he's still your best hope.
You want to win.
He's still. Well, I think he's still your best hope of going deep in the fight.
So you look at someone like Wayne Bennett, right?
Yep.
Against the Dolphins, against the Broncos, they won. What did he do?
We shuffle things around, but you're not talking about a player like Nicho Hynes.
Take the money away.
It's not just about the money, Gordy.
You've got to ask what's the best for the team.
Well, what's best for the team is Nicho Hynes playing six. Because he's...
Rudy, these statistics here are absolutely telling.
It's 6 games.
It doesn't matter. They've got a 67% win record together.
Who were they against, though?
Well, the Sharks had a tough run in. I'm pretty sure you'll find they were the combination when they beat Melbourne in Melbourne.
Do you seriously think at this point in the season...
No, I'm
not
saying, but
Hynes?
I'm just saying with those statistics to back it up, it is a fair argument to at least have a discussion about it. Personally, I wouldn't drop him. But what I will say is this. Nicho is under contract for the next 6 years at $1 million a year. And I think if he doesn't play well this week, and I'm not suggesting for a minute they're going to cut him or anything, but they will have some sort of chat with him around his future and around his pay packet.
He just did that deal. So a year after he's done a new deal, you're going to talk to the guy about getting rid of him.
All right, Rudy.
I didn't say that. You said that. I said they're going to just sit down, have a chat to him and maybe suggest... If he's not happy, if you don't think you can contribute, if you're not happy here, you can look elsewhere.
Rudy, I've got one for you.
Okay.
This weekend, they take on the Cowboys.
Yep.
He doesn't play well.
Yep.
They get beat. What are your thoughts then?
Well, I think you've got to spend the off-season trying to rebuild his confidence and rebuild Nicho.
How do you rebuild his confidence?
Craig Fitzgibbon's a really good coach.
Hold on.
How do you rebuild his confidence?
He's $1 million player.
I understand that.
So from Origin last year...
And why did you get $1 million? Why did you get the $1 million?
Because he won the Dally M Award by the length of the straight.
Exactly. So there's a good player in there somewhere at the moment.
Well,
he's down on confidence.
There's no doubting that.
But you can rebuild his confidence.
The Dally M's are through the regular season, right?
Yep.
So the question mark is, though, and every goal of every team, of every player is to win a premiership. The Dally M's is great. You know, that's the regular season. But if there was a Dally M's for finals and origins... It'd be a different story, right?
It'd be a different story for every player in that team. Because every player in that team come finals time has been ordinary for, 7 finals in a row they've lost now. None of them have aimed up.
Everybody said Ben Hunt was overrated. I said Carlin Ponga was overrated until...
Well, I never said Carlin Ponga was overrated.
Until 10 games last year, everybody was saying that he was a waste of money. And then you get Nicho and everybody dances around
The only thing I
don't think he's produced.
Gordy,
if he's $1 million player, you play like one.
Gordy, I think he was a
letdown
by his forward pack on the weekend. I published the stats in the column today. The middle forward who made most meterage, I think, was Toby Root with 54 metres. Now, it was, as I said, they were starved of football, so the forwards were basically rendered useless. They could make no middle field ground whatsoever.
Yeah,
Nicho suffered.
I don't think you can.
You know what? And that's a really good point.
No half can.
No, and that's a really good point. But the great halfbacks turn your poor sets into good sets where they can go. Daly Cherry Evans, so that's a really good point. Daly Cherry Evans, his side was getting beaten for 75 minutes. He played off the back foot. They weren't getting any metres. They were making 20 metres per set, and he kicked them out of trouble.
I think the reality is, and I feel so much for Nicho because I've been there. Like, I've lived it. You go through points of your career where you really struggle. You know, you're really struggling to doubt yourself, and you can see it in his eyes. You can see it in his body language. Everyone you talk to from, and I'm not going to name names, but all the experts in the game, they have the same opinion right now. He looks defeated. He looks in trouble. He looks like he's struggling with life, with his game. It's like on the field, he's not a player that you look at that you go, okay, he's just about to come up with a big play. We're going to jump off the back of him and we're going to win this week. We're going to win this semi-final. I know it sounds bad, but that's the reality of it right now, and it is a horrible feeling.
Well, how did you fight your way out of these?
It takes time. And you know how it's performing at that level on the biggest stage. It's winning a major semi. It's kicking a field goal to win a game. That matters. It's you know.
So he needs to play Braith then, because if you take him out, he won't get that opportunity.
No, that's a good point. It's a good point you make, but it's also a risk.
It is a risk.
It's also a risk.
You're that far into the season. It's a risk you've got to take now. You can't put Daniel Atkinson in.
Do you think he's close
there.
to producing though?
Well, it only takes one moment, Braith. You know what it's like. I mean, it takes one magic moment and the whole thing can turn around for you.
But, you know,
and then back in the old days, you'd get dropped back to reserve grade to get your confidence. Wayne Bennett put Glenn Lazarus, Kerrod Walters when I was at the club. There's two.
You had a fair team back then, Gordy. You had a good team with a lot of depth.
I think Glenn Lazarus is arguably the greatest front rower ever.
Yeah.
He put him back in reserve grade. Sometimes you've got to go back there to learn your craft again.
So do you want to sack him too?
No, I'm just saying that, if I'm a Sharks fan, I just want to win. I think
the best chance of winning is Nicho.
Okay, what about? And I said it earlier quickly. Could he come off the bench? Could you play him at fullback? You know, apparently they're a little bit critical of Kennedy on the weekend.
Yeah,
could you move him to fullback and bring Atkinson into the halves?
Yeah.
He played fullback for the Melbourne Storm and did a great job down there.
You could do everything you suggest, but I'm only telling you what Craig Fitzgibbon's thoughts are at the moment, and that's to keep him at 5'8".
Yeah.
That's. Right. And it's brave, but it's loyal. And
I like the loyalty. I love it. Like, I love the fact that Fitzy's backing him. Like, that's the type of person that Fitzy is. And you know what? If Fitzy's going to back him, then Nicho needs to repay him with results. So it's a big game on the weekend. Now,